Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Rhonda, you can call the roll.
Mr. Alcess?
Here.
Mr. Evans?
Here.
Mr. French?
Here.
Mr. Howard?
Here.
Mrs. Stewart?
Here. Can I get a motion to approve items 1A through C as written in the board agenda?
Make a motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll say.
Any discussion? And call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. Item number 2, recognition. I'll turn it over to Mr. Mantell.
Thank you. So we're on a student recognition tonight. Our spring sports will be recognized and other activities in June. So a special thank you to Mark Cooper and Hummingbird Music of Jackson. They donated many of their remaining store items to the band. And just a list of those items include instruments, cases, mouthpieces, batons, oils and grease, pad savers, page clips, maintenance kits, whistles, straps, reeds, and other items. So if Mr. Warrens is in here, I think he is. Did I cover everything? And I don't know what all those things are, so we got it. So thank you for arranging that. Since the last board meeting, we had teacher and staff appreciation week, bus driver appreciation week, and nurse appreciation day. So we covered all of our staff and then some specifics. Obviously, it takes a lot of people to run this operation daily. So we're very appreciative of all the people who work with our district, whether it be full-time, part-time, or contracted services. So thank you all for that. That's it for me for right now.
Okay. Moving on to item 3A, public participation. Each person, we invite anyone that wants to address the board. Your name has to be on the sheet up here. We'll go through each person. We allow a total of 30 minutes for the session. We normally limit it to 3 minutes per person, but since there's not 10 people, it's just a limit of 30 minutes. We do have 3 people on the agenda that have called ahead and put their name on the agenda, so we'll start with them first. Is Gwen Mullet here? Okay, how about Levi Weghorst? Is Levi Weghorst here? Okay.
For those of you who may not know me, or know about my situation, my name is Levi Weghorst. I've been a student of Oak Hill since 4th grade and haven't had near any complaints about the school or its decisions when it comes to football up until now. When I heard we were getting a new football coach after Chad Vanderhoof was forced to resign 2 years ago, I thought we would never find anyone better than him. I was sitting in the back seat of my mom's car with her and my stepdad when she told me about a new coaching hire named Tyler Kratzenberg. She described him as a strict coach who hates to lose and has a temper. She said it would probably suck and practices would be hard, but she wants me to at least give him a chance and get to know him. 2 years later, I think anyone who has had the honor of playing for Coach Kratz would say these stand true to this day. From the very first time I talked to Coach Kratz to inform him about my medical condition and hearing situation, I knew he would be an amazing coach. He greeted me with respectful manners and a smile on my face the entire time he was talking to me. For anyone who doesn't know, I was born with a life-altering condition called NF2. To quickly summarize NF2, it's a genetic condition which tumors grow along my nervous system. Some of these tumors grow on my brain and can attack the hearing, causing you to go deaf. Unfortunately, this happened to me back in March of 2023, and I lost the majority of my speech recognition and most of my hearing as well. Throughout the 2 seasons I spent playing for Coach Kratzenberg, I spent one of them with no hearing, making football infinitely harder. Despite my struggles and complications, never did Coach Kratz ever lose patience with me for not being able to hear a play call on the field, messing up a snap count, or knowing what I was supposed to be doing, along with all of his other assistant coaches who were helping him. Kratz went out of his way to make sure I was enjoying myself just as much as the other players, which is something no other coach had done for me in my 6 years of playing football. Over the summer of 2023, the most important time of the year for football players and coaches, He made the entire football team and coaching staff attend sign language classes every other Monday so they could communicate with as best as possible. To some of us, Tyler is more than a football coach. To me and many others, he is a friend, a brother, and another father, but above all, a coach. Kretz has done a lot for multiple kids outside of football. He's taught us all how to be a better man and how to respect others and proper etiquette and much more. He has shown many young kids in this town how to be a proper man, which is more than any coach from the last 5 years has done for the boys of Oak Hill. Kretz shared a quote with me one day when I was feeling down and I was at a rough point in my life. He pulled me into his office and only said one sentence before dismissing me. He told me a quote copied from an amazing movie, which I will recite now. "The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody's going to hit as hard as life and its problems. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done." Anyone who has watched a game of Oak Hill varsity football in the last 2 seasons can tell that Kratz coached the team with this quote as a non-stop mindset. No matter how many games we lost, or how hard we were hit and beat down by bigger players, Kratz taught us to never quit, and to always fight back and give it your all. When Coach Paul Carver resigned from Oak Hill's head coach position, they brought in an amazing man and coach by the name of Chad Vanderhoof. Through complications, Chad was forced to resign, or he would be fired unwillingly. When Chad left, the football team shrunk from 43 players to 21. If Coach Tyler Kratzenberg were to leave, it's only fair to assume that the number would get smaller once more, possibly low enough that Oak Hill would not have a football team anymore, or that many young freshmen and sophomores would be starting before they reach a good size, and most likely get hurt. Many believe the reason Kratz was fired is because of him pushing the kids too hard and his foul mouth. However, to get better at playing this sport, you have to push yourself to your limit and work harder than anyone else to be better than anyone else. If you're not working your absolute hardest, then you will never get any better. Also, many kids will hear their fair share of rude or respectful insults and remarks, most probably involving explicit language. I warn everyone at Oak Hill School Board, everyone here. I lost my place. I warn everyone that if Kratz leaves, so will many kids on the team, and possibly even some that don't play anymore but have been affected by him. Some may even move schools. All this drama about the coaching situation has ripped apart friends, relationships, and families because of their views and opinions on the subject matter. My own friends are hating each other because of what is going on. I've heard fair insults that nobody should ever receive before, from one of my friends to another friend, and it kills me. All I ask for is a peaceful resolution which things can go back to the way they used to be. Kratz bonded together many friendships, and to see him leave is all it takes to cripple friendships. I don't know if I can support that. Kratz has played a major influence on dozens of kids around the area, and has done amazing things for the town. Please don't take from these kids a man that is their biggest influence. My name is Levi Whitworth. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Levi. Next on the agenda is Austin Crosby.
Alright, well, I don't have much to say because I didn't come prepared, but we all know I was in a car wreck back in March. Catch Crash was there for everything. He even helped my grandma and grandpa through it all. And then the family, friends, the team, he let us all know what's going on. And like Coach Kratz, he's brought a lot of people together as a team. Like, we just bonded a lot easier than most of us would. And so it's like getting rid of him, a lot of us won't be here no more. Because like right now, a lot of us upperclassmen want to leave because he's trying to get rid of Coach Kratz. And it's just, that's all there is.
Next up, Drew Cannon.
Mine's gonna be short and sweet. A lot of you guys know I'm from here, been here my whole life. We were always pushing everything we do. I'm not gonna give you guys the crack story. Our system right now is broken. Nobody supports anybody. We're making business decisions on people that don't involve themselves in anything. Some of you guys don't know who Kratz is. Some of you guys don't involve yourself with any of the sports. So how are we making business decisions for all of athletics when we don't involve ourselves? That's all I got.
Ed?
My name's Ed Abley. In case some of you, this is your first board meeting, this is very unusual. Usually there's 4 or 5 of us sitting in here. Gordon and Gina sitting over there. And that's it. I think it's unusual for you guys to see this many people here. And it's all in support of Coach Kratzenberg. It's 200 signatures from a petition to keep Tyler Kratzenberg. We should all be here tonight for our children. The board's going to make decisions tonight that affects our children. They are our voice, and they make decisions based upon the recommendations of principals, athletic directors, and superintendents. These recommendations may not be the most popular within the community. That's why we all came here tonight, to express that we are dissatisfied in the decision to not recommend Coach Kratzenberg to be renewed as our head football coach. During the time from when I first found out the coach was not going to be our coach until now, I did a little research. My research has that the board members do not have to vote in the people that have been recommended tonight. There has to be a motion, there has to be a second for the motion, and then there has to be a vote. If there's not a motion or a second, then there is no issue. So the hiring and firing tonight is completely up to the board. My only ask would be the reason behind why we're not recommending Coach Kratzenberg. We're the community, the board's our voice. I think we're voicing our own voice here tonight by being here, saying we want him here. We've already had a meeting about it. We've had a big outing, a big barbecue outing for it, made shirts for him. And yet, tonight we're going to vote in a new coach. He's done more for my son and some of the other boys than any coach has ever done before, or probably ever will. We've been a part of 3 communities. I started my journey with sports in Jackson. I grew up in Wellston, born and raised. Moved to Jackson, had a family in Jackson, raised a son through Jackson, stepson through Jackson. Moved to Wellston with my son, put him clear through 7th grade. We came here and watched a playoff game, and he wanted nothing else but to play for Oak Hill from that point forward. He was just in love with Oak Hill. He's not so in love with Oak Hill anymore. Coach Kratzenberg is a football coach and took my son and got him on a travel baseball team last year. Very, very good travel baseball team out of Newark, Ohio. Knowing it was going to run his quarterback through the summer and part of the fall in travel baseball, not in football. But he knew that's what Eddie wanted. He knew that's what was best for Eddie, and he made that happen for him. That's the kind of man that he was and the kind of coach that he was. He did what was best for the boys. With all that being said, there's a lot of people and a lot of parents here, some players here too. My message tonight really isn't for the board. It's for you guys. I'm not sure if I can say anything changed their mind. Probably not going to, and that's all right. Whether we moved here like we did and some other families have done, or you've lived here all your life, we came here to Oak Hill without even knowing Coach Kratzenberg. We're better off for knowing him. I believe that 100%. But everybody that's here tonight that has an athlete should have their child play sports. We didn't come here to play for Coach Kratz. We came here to play for the community, for our teammates and our family. We made a family here in Oak Hill. I'll be the first one to tell you guys, I've already looked at other schools. There's no doubt in my mind. What's best for Eddie? What's best for our children? He's a senior. If we move, he'll be in a whole new environment and will only be there for 9-10 months. It's hard to make those kind of relationships that he's made here in the last 3-4 years. Bring your kids out, make them play football. If they played football before, make them play football again. Have them come out and play. Doesn't matter who the coach is. It really doesn't. We're almost into a temper tantrum. Coach Kratz isn't playing or isn't coaching, we're not playing. Jimmy Sloan said it best. We don't play for the coach. We play for this community. We play for our teammates. All those seniors that are coming back this year, that's who Eddie's playing for. All the underclassmen, the 8th graders are going to be 9th graders that might have to play if Eddie doesn't play. That's why he's going to come back. That's why we're here to play. We need to form together no matter what decisions made, ever. We need to stay together as a community. That's the message everybody needs to hear. We're finally, this little town stepping up and being a community. Look at how many of us are here tonight. We need to stay together, try and change some things. Thank you.
Jeremy Ford.
I'm good.
Okay, Mr. Mantell, would you like to say anything?
Sure. So I was asked to respond on behalf of the board. I'm going to do that. So just a few things. First of all, and I appreciate whether you're here in support of a certain coach, whether you're here in opposition to that coach, or whether you're here just as a member of the community. You're welcome here, obviously. I understand that some people, and again, I've heard from either side of this. Okay, I want to be very clear that I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this myself in personal matters. Sometimes we surround ourselves with people who are like-minded, and that's normal. So when I hear that everyone feels one way or everyone feels another way, I can tell you with complete honesty that isn't the case. This is a split community, and I hate to see that. All right, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm not going to sit and venture to guess. I know how many people contacted me out of curiosity. I know how many people contacted me who were pro Coach Kratzenberg, and I know how many people contacted me who are anti. So let me put this very plainly. The board, and Mr. Avery, you referenced process. So our board policy reads specifically that the board authorizes the superintendent to recommend candidates for employment by the board or to act for the board in employing such staff. So while there is a vote of the board, the superintendent does have the authority per the board to make personnel decisions. I don't make those solely, and I don't make those without communicating with others. And when I say others, the process, and out of respect for the process, I don't know how many of you have made personnel decisions or been involved in a personnel decision, but common professional practice is that stays between, whether you want to call it management, administration, whatever, and that individual. That's how I've operated my entire professional career. That is the expectation of this board. And I'm not going to share, that's not fair, because if I share things, first of all, this isn't personal. And I hear things, well, this is personal, you don't like something. That's not the case. People can assume that. Those words have never left my mouth, that I don't like this person or that person as far as we're talking about an employee. I didn't say that. I've heard that I told a coach that the reason that he's not here is he's too tough. Those words never left my mouth. They did not. And most of the discussions that I have with personnel, with people, they do come also with, whether it be our athletic director, our principals, we make decisions together. I have to make a recommendation. So I've heard a lot. I've had things sent to me about me if you choose to believe those things, I'm like I said, I put out a message to you. So I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm telling you how we handle personnel. It is a private matter. It will remain a private matter. And this is the first time in my entire administrative career I've been asked to publicly share personnel matters publicly, and I'm not going to do that. And if I do that, then I'm bringing on, number one, that's very unprofessional. And number two, I'm bringing on potential additional issues for the people sitting at this table. I don't want our employees to think that every time that they're not meeting an expectation or there is a discussion that it's going to become public. That is not the precedent I will set. I will not set that. I would highly recommend that any of you in a leadership role never set the precedent that you're going to discuss personnel matters publicly. That is not okay. So there's nothing to hide. I share concerns, positives, room for improvement, recommendations. I share those with our employees. And in most situations, and our principals are here. So if you don't believe me, ask them. Ask them. And all but one of our principals are from Oak Hill. And I'm sorry, and I told all you I didn't want to drag you into this, but you said, no, we work as a team. So we do. So if you don't believe me, there are people in that room who have spent 40 plus years in this community. So if you don't want to believe the guy who's been in Oak Hill for 2 years, that's your choice. I'm not here to get anybody. I'm not here because I'm angry with anybody. I came here because 5 people gave me an opportunity and I appreciate it. And every decision I make, no matter how difficult it is in the best interest of the students and our staff and our community. And I know some of you don't believe that, and I know some of you don't agree with that. This was not an easy decision. This was not a decision that started a month ago. This was a months-long decision that began before I received a single phone call, email, text message, or communication from anybody, pro or against. Now that is the truth. You can choose to believe it or not. I will never, with intention, lie to anybody. And if I give you information that's false, I will come back and say, you know what, I misspoke, that's incorrect. But I'm not going to share personnel information publicly. I'm not going to do it. A decision was made, I made a recommendation. I share all of my recommendations and the reasons why with our board. If they have questions, we discuss it. Whether they agree or disagree, we have open communication, which is how it should be. I encourage them to ask questions. I encourage them to contact me. I ask our administrators, what are your thoughts on this? If they work with someone more than I do, I need to know. This was brought to me. Do you think this is accurate? Hey, we need to have a conversation with them. That is how we operate. So I appreciate and I believe that Coach Katzenberg did good things for some kids. I do. I've said those words to him. But there are times when things occur or are not addressed appropriately or expectations are not met and a difficult personnel decision has to happen. That is the reality. The word business has come up, and that's, I believe Drew said it, that sometimes is the price of doing business. That there is someone who has to make a recommendation, an informed recommendation. Not vindictive, not hateful. I know that. I was a head football coach. It is challenging. It is hard. I understand that. It is not easy. And I want continuity for our kids. I don't want to have a new coach every year. That is not a good thing. So this took a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of work to come to a decision that was not an easy one. If it was easy, well, we really wouldn't need people making decisions because most decisions aren't super easy. And again, I'm not asking you to agree. I'm not asking you to like me. If you don't like me, that's up to you. But we are in a situation that is challenging. I have recommended a new head football coach, and my expectation is that head football coach will get started in the very near future. So that's where we are. And the last thing I believe that I want to hit is I keep hearing athletics, athletics, athletics. Athletics are important. They are a vital part of especially small communities. I understand that football, and it is something that I have been working with literally since my first day as the superintendent of Oak Hill. It is not an overnight fix. I understand that. I want us to be better. But when I hear in general, when I hear extracurriculars in sports are terrible, it's not true. In the last 2 school years, we have 3 SOC championships. That's more than some schools combined. We have won a cross-country championship, we have won a baseball championship, and we have won a track and field championship. We have 5 kids competing this week in the regional track meet. Our baseball team were sectional champions last year and nearly again this year. Our softball team won 1 game last year. We won either 4 or 5 this year. Our girls basketball team, both JV and varsity, did win a game this year. No, we're not where we were when it was the Lady Oaks destroying people, but we're working to get better. We now have 2 golf teams, both girls and boys. This is the first time in school history to my knowledge. Our band, our choir, regionally recognized, state recognized, nationally recognized. So when I hear, because people are upset about one thing, that our school sucks and we don't offer things and we're not good at anything, it's not true. It's not. Football is my favorite sport. I played from the time I was a little kid through college. I love football. I want it to be positive. I want it to go well. So when I hear these negative things, it's not true. And when you look at us academically, our test scores have done nothing but increase the last 3 or 4 years. They haven't. They're going up. We offer 20 plus college credit plus hours on our campus. We're adding more next year. There are a lot of positive things. We can choose to focus on a negative thing, and you are entitled to your opinion, and you can be mad about it for as long as you choose to be. And for the guys who will miss Coach Kratz, I understand. When I was a freshman going to be a sophomore, I had a coach who was non-renewed, and I didn't understand it, and I asked and no one told me why. And that was frustrating. I had a choice. To your point, I could go to another school, I could quit playing, or I could play. I chose to play because I played with my friends, my teammates, and my community. That's what I chose. Did I like the new coach as much? Ed, no, I didn't. But we were still successful. Would we have been more or less successful with the previous coach? I have no idea. And I do agree, although you and I don't agree on a lot on this topic, I do agree with you that I want our kids to play. I think they should play, and I think that's the positive message to put out.
Yes, sir.
I tell my own children, you have 4 years of high school to play or compete or be in whatever. You have 4 years to do that. If you skip one, you never get that back. You never get that back. We're going to have football. I don't know how many players we're going to have. I don't know what our record's going to be. But we will have football at Oak Hill. And collectively, I hope we can work together to make it as good and as positive and successful as it was a few years ago. So with that, that is my response on behalf of the board, and I turn it back over to our board president.
Thank you, Mr. Mantel.
You're welcome.
Well, I'll let you get a drink, and because you're up next for your superintendent's report.
I am, thank you. A few things, and I apologize for those of you who don't really hear my voice anymore. This is a little bit shorter than normal. So what we have right now, we have a few projects going on. The playground plot project, which I agree has gone on entirely too long, and trust me, has been a very frustrating piece of my job, and I see our 2 admin in the elementary who are constantly working with me on that. So if they're not on site now, the crew who is tasked and being paid to complete the physical structures is either on their way here or has arrived in Jackson County from Florida. So again, that is supposed to be finished before next year, and trust me, that is frustrating. I'm not happy about it, and it has been a source of, again, frustration. But on a positive note, Brian Moore Construction is doing a great job. We have 2 shelter houses going up. You can see the construction if you pulled in tonight. We have a lot going on there. And we also have that going in at the elementary school as well. I know there have been questions about the batting cages at the elementary. Those are going to be removed temporarily, but will be put back. So for baseball parents, you will have batting cages for next season. Those are not being torn down permanently. They're going to be moved in somewhere in the youth league fields by the elementary school. HVAC project is going on in the field house, so there will be air conditioning for those of you who do play football or are involved in track and field, and if you lift up there. So we will have HVAC up there for the first time in the weight room area. I've talked about, we do have a preschool. We're doubling the size of the preschool restrooms, which is a plus and much needed because our enrollment has gone up. We've added classrooms and we're bringing more students into the district, so that's a huge positive. There are several things going on over the summer, so please follow the Facebook pages, the elementary, the middle school, high school, and the district page. The Oaks basketball camp, girls and boys, is coming up the 28th, 29th, and 30th. I can tell you from attending, that is a quality camp. I was at some of that last year. We have summer school June 3rd through the 28th. I don't know if that's quite as exciting as basketball camp, but it is quite helpful if you would like to go. But again, we have several things going on in the summer. The school really doesn't shut down. There's someone always here. And please keep in mind that in June, we will be recognizing students and student athletes for spring, both elementary, middle school, and high school, for what they have done over the last couple of months. So they will be recognized in June. We wanted to wait until all the spring sports were over, and spring sports are going through this week and hopefully through the state track meet the following week. Again, that is all that I have.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Moving on to 5 personnel. I need a motion to approve personnel 5A and B. We're going to vote for these separate. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? You call the vote.
Mr. Alcess? Mr. Evans?
Yeah.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. I need a motion to approve items 5C. I'll make that motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? You call the vote.
Mr. Alcess? Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Abstain.
Mr. Howard? Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. I need a motion to approve items 5D, E, F. Just D, E, and F, as written in the board agenda. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? You call the vote.
Mr. Alcess? Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. I need a motion to approve item 5G.
Make a motion. Second.
Okay, any discussion? I didn't call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Needs to abstain.
You have to
Abstain on this.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. I need a motion to approve item 5H. I'll make that motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? You can call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. Need a motion to approve item 5I.
Make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? You call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. And I need a motion to approve. Can I do these together, I guess? 5J, K, L, and M. Yes.
Make a motion.
Okay, can I get a second?
J, K,
L, and M. Can't do L and M.
L,
Can't do that.
Oh, okay. So J, K, and M?
yes.
Okay,
Make a motion.
Might-
Add that to do it.
I missed the name.
that's okay.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, Rhonda, you can call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
I'd like to make a,
Mrs. Stewart?
yes. And I'll make the motion to approve item 5L. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? You can call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. Okay, 6. Professional meetings and field trips. Can I get a motion to approve items 6A through E?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Any discussion? You can call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. Number 7, financial. Is there anything in there, Rhonda, you would like to discuss before we vote?
I will just say that we are approving this year's 5-year forecast, and it's just going to highlight a couple of the changes, and that is the district's revenues. And as we all know, that the Jackson County was reappraised in 2023, and the collections are collected in 2024. So we did see an increase of those. I think property taxes went up an average of 37%, and so therefore our collections have gone up. So it was up about 27% on it. Also, the state foundation, which is the bulk of our revenue, that data or those calculations were based on 2018 data, and this year they based it on 2022 data. So there was also an increase in revenue for state foundation. Those were the two big changes in our revenues. Expenses, we are ending a 3-year contract with both of our unions. Salaries and benefits, make up 70% of our expenses. Once negotiations are finalized and approved, we will I'll redo the 5-year forecast in the fall, and you'll see changes in those. Also, the health insurance is on there, and we are taking a 0% increase this year for our health insurance, which is a positive.
And that's nearly unheard of. So we've worked together, but Rhonda does a great job with that. I know you don't want to be thanked, but that is very challenging right now. There are groups being asked to take it upwards of 30%. We've taken 0, so I think that's credit to what Rhonda's doing.
Other than that, our expenses, our other expenses that are going up is our purchase services, and that's due to a lot of contracted services that we have to, especially especially for our special education
Sure.
and our specialty
With
services.
specific needs that
related
fall within
services.
IEPs.
That's really all I have.
Okay. Okay, can I get a motion to approve items 7A through N?
Make a motion.
A second. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? You can call the vote.
Mr. Alcess?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. French?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart?
Yes. Communications from our unions. Wendy, do you have anything? Is there any other? Okay. Board members, Joe, do you have anything? Tim? Tyler?
Nope.
Nope.
That's fine.
Nothing for myself. Executive session, there's no executive
I'm not
session.
asking for one.
Okay. The next board meeting, I know that it needs to be late in June for business purposes. So it will not be on our regular meeting night, so what's the last Wednesday in June?
The 26th.
Is that late enough?
Anytime that Wednesday or Thursday would be great, if that's possible.
Are you all gonna be in town, June 26th?
26 or 27.
You hear that, didn't you?
I'm not going anywhere. We have to pay those property taxes you just talked about.
Are you good, Tyler?
Tyler, you good?
Well, we'll set it for the
26th.
Sixth.
Are we still doing the 4:30 since
For
it's summer?
hours.
Are you
Yeah.
okay with that?
Can you do 4:30?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I think it's
You do
fine.
that?
If not, we'll have plenty of time to announce
Yeah.
the change.
We normally do the 4:30 summer hours
Correct.
if possible, but if
And
it's
you
not.
said the 26th.
Correct. June 26th. Unless someone wants to make it.
Did you hear that, Jeremiah? Okay. Okay. I need a motion to adjourn. And I will second. Do we have any discussion?